Right. Today we are going to discuss about 2020 summer S1 paper, sorry, 2021 summer S1 paper, the most recent unseen paper. Yeah. So let's start with this question. So when you happen to see this kind of a diagram, initially what you need to understand is see whether some information may be hidden in the statements and some part may be they are given in the tree diagram. So you need to be initially be kind of vigilant with these kind of situations, and we'll start with this. Right, there are 7 counters, 3 blue counters, 2 yellow counters in a bag. Yeah, 7 red counters, 3 blue and 2 yellow. Right, so there are 3 variations over here. So what is a variation? There should be 7 red, 3 blue and 2 yellow. That's what they mention. Altogether there should be then 12 counters. Now you can see the probability of picking the red counter is 7/12, whereas blue would be there are 3 blue out of 12 and there are 2 blue out of 12. Right, so altogether it's turned up to 1. So if you happen a tree diagram like this, we know that addition of these 3 should be 1. Obviously, yeah, it happens, right? Then if the counter is yellow, she do not select any other counter. That is why after this branch there is no extension, because after receiving yellow you don't have to repeat this experiment, because it's all after that we are not going to follow up. Right, okay. If the count is not yellow, we randomly select a second counter. So when you come across this branch, but then now already red counter is picked. Therefore, we have remained only 6 red counters, 3 blue counters and 2 yellow counters. Altogether now there should be 11 counters. So this probability should be 6/11, 3/11 and 2/11. Hope you can understand how I get this. Right? Okay. So when you come across this branch, the picked counter is a blue counter. Therefore, 3 red counters remain, 2 blue counters remain and 2 yellow counters remain, altogether 11. I gotten this one from the same extension here. When you get the red counter, the red count is missing over here, and if you pick a blue counter, the blue count is missing over here. So it should be 7/11, clearly, and 2/11 and 2/11. Now you can see if you deduct these probabilities even 1. This probability is even 1. If you add up this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, even again it should be equal to 1. So that's a condition we need to satisfy, right? Given that, yeah. So they ask us to complete the tree diagram. We already completed it with it, right? Find the probability that she has. Given that, this is the point where we have to be very particular with that. Some situation they just give us to find the probability. Sometimes this is associated with the conditional probability. Read the question properly. Sometimes, yeah. Then some of the here in this question, most of the students that did this mistake, they didn't read out this question. They get find the probability that she has 2 counters, and they were exactly confused what they're asking. But look at this, what they mentioned. Given that Jaina has selected a yellow counter, so over here they mention you selected the yellow counter. Selected a yellow counter. Find the probability that she has 2 counters, 2 counts. Right. Now, according to our A given B conditional probability, A given B conditional probability, I think you are familiar with this formula. That is probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. This is the standard formula for given condition. So you can write probability of 2 counters intersection yellow counter divided by probability of a yellow counter. That means for what is this meaning? What is this statement meaning for? Right? That is, it's a 2 counters and a yellow counter. That means you need to get a yellow counter as well as there should be 2 counters as well. So what are the elements for it? Both are red, no yellow. Red with blue, no yellow. It's 2 counters, but only there is no yellow over here. This is a 1 counter. Look at this. Red with yellow. Red with yellow means it's turned up to 7/12 into 2/11. There is 1 yellow count over here plus here no red, here no red, here yellow. So can say this is 3/12 into 2/11. This is one combination. This is yellow, but there is no counters. Therefore, you need to picking this counter over here. Hope you can understand how I get this. Divided by probability of yellow. Probability of yellow means anyway you can write 7/12 times of 2/11. Here you have a yellow counter plus 3/12 into 2/11. That one also another yellow counter, and there is another yellow counter over here. There is no such restriction. Here they are concerned about somehow to obtain a yellow counter, right? If you operate these ones, so you can simplify like this 20/132. Yeah, 20/132 divided by, this should be done up if you do it, 42/132. So you get the final answer would be 10/21, right? So that is the answer, but you need to make it and a little bit of a careful when you write it, though I wrote it here, don't write on this line because some of the students do this mistake. They write the line over here. This is for the total marking process. Don't write anything on this line. Hope you can understand what I mean, right? Okay, that's how you need to do this question. Right. Now, let's come up to this question. Yes. When you come over here, what do they say? In the diagram below, sorry, in the diagram, the Venn diagram below, A, B, C are events and P, Q, R, and S are the probabilities. So there are a couple of probabilities over here. Which of these elements, A and B, which of these ones, yes, which of these elements are mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive means the events without intersection. Now you can see A and B has an intersection. A and C has an intersection, but B and C do not have any intersection. Therefore, simply you can write B and C are the events which are mutually exclusive. You have to understand that sometimes some students get mixed up with the mutual exclusiveness and the independency. Independency means the events, for the mutual exclusiveness, the events cannot happen at the same time. But for the independent event, they can happen at the same time, but those events are not related to each other. Right? Independency, if the events are independent, I'll just mark a small note in that. If they are mutually exclusive, sorry, the intersection of them, if it is A and B are mutually exclusive, A and A intersection is a null set. That means there's probability 0. If the events are independent, probability of A intersection B would be similar to the product of the individual probabilities. That's the fact we need to understand with this question. So I like, but here they ask about the mutual exclusive, so you can just make it right. Find the value for R and S. So now let's see. That is why I always tell in this question, because sometimes when we are redoing this question, we are so hurry to answer the question, we do not read the question properly, because sometimes that's a trick. What the examiners do is they hide some information inside the question with the statement or sometimes in the diagram, right? So nothing to hurry, you just check with that. So look at this B. Then find the probability of R and S. Then we will see is there any information over here? Yes. Event A and C are independent, whereas PA is 0.65. If events A and C are independent, straightforward, I can write A intersection C is equal to probability of A into probability of C. That's a fact we need to understand. Okay, right. Then A intersection C, let's see where say intersection C. Yeah, it's here, 0.13. Probability of A, they have given 0.65. Into C. C is this. That is the addition of these two regions, that is 0.13 plus R. Then I can bring the 0.65 to this side. 0.13 divided by 0.65 would be 0.5 equals to 0.13 plus R. There with that R become 0.37. Now when you get this information, it's better to write this answer over here. Then fill up this information because that would be giving us extra help to find the rest of the facts, right? Okay, let's go ahead with this. Yes. Right, okay. Then I already found the value for R. Again, what you need to find S. To find S, what you can understand is, yeah, okay. Now look at this. if you add up all the probabilities over here, that is always equivalent to 1. Then we know that they have given PA is 0.65 means everything inside the circle is 0.65. That means it indicates you all the elements over here and this region 0.37 plus S. So when you add these regions all together, that completes the entire diagram. Therefore, it's turned out to 1. So as a result, you can say S is equals to 1 minus 0.65 plus 0.37. It's turned out to, yeah, 65 plus 4.37. Give me a second. Is that 37? Sorry, this should be 0.15. Let me see. 0.13 divided by 0.65 is it's 0.2. Seems to be that is the problem come across me. This is 0. I made a mistake. This should be 0.2, and therefore this should be 0.07. This should be 0.07 here, and this should be 0.07. With that, you can get the answer as S is yeah. Let me see. That is turned up to 0.65 plus 0.07 is 0.172. It's turned to 0.18. 18 is the final answer for this question. Just this. 0.7, right? Okay, that's a pattern to understand with this. Then, yeah, we already found the value for R and S. That's the answer for that. Then we need to, next part of it, now we have a doubt of find P and Q. Admit that may be the question they ask in the next question. Now you can see the 6-mark question means little bit of a working should be there definitely, right? And that is why all, and the other one is, I forgot to put it. We have to put the value for S. S is how much? 0.18. We will mark it here. Okay, 0.18. We will mark it here. Then the events A intersection C dash and B union C also independent. A intersection C dash and B union C also independent. If this statement is given for the, we will write the statement for this. Means what we need to write for this. If they are independent, what you can say for the probability of A intersection C dash intersection probability of B union C. This one, sorry. The probability of A intersection C dash intersection B union C should be similar to probability of A intersection C dash into probability of B union C. That is a fact we need to understand from this question. The same statement we did it for the independency, what we did over here. Right, let's try to understand this. Initially, rather than that going ahead with this region, just find out this region. So I will just do a small diagram over here. Then it would be give you kind of a good idea on that. A is here. This is A, and B is small part here B, and C is here. C, right? The first statement is A intersection C dash. That means A intersect with C dash. C dash means not C. It's in A, but not in C. That is what you mean by A intersection C dash. That means you will get the clearly that it should be this area. Is that clear? Okay. What can I write with that? That area indicates with P plus Q. P plus Q into then B union C. I will choose a different color for that. B union C means B is this bit. C means this bit. Union indicates you the whole colored region. Understood? The that region. So I write with the same color. B is Q. Plus B union C means other part of it. 0.13 plus 0.07 is 0.2. 0.2. Okay. This is similar to what? Intersection of those two regions. Intersection of those two regions means a cross colors, cross line. Cross line means which is colored in both ways. What is the region colored in both ways over here? This part is only red. This part is only blue. This is the only region where it's colored in both. Is that clear, Saranya? So that should be turned up to how much? Q. A intersection C dash is this blue color one, and the other one is red color. So therefore, this is the region which is colored with that. It's turned up to how much? You can say it's similar to Q. Let's try to understand with this whether do we have any other fact to understand with this. Right. Find the Q. Yeah, is that clear that that region is that Q? Yes. So okay, right. From here you get a one equation. I'm not going to simplify this equation, and I'll just keep it as it is. Right. Now, there's another fact where we can understand. Then we know that if I add this everything over inside this circle, that is we know the probability is 0.65. If I add up everything over here inside the circle, that is equal to how much? 0.65. Therefore, you can write P plus Q plus 0.13 is equals to 0.65. From here, I can say P plus Q equals to 0.65 minus 0.13. 0.65 minus 0.13, that is 0.52. I will take this one as my second equation. Then what can I do? I can replace the 0.52 over here. Then you can write from 1, Q is equals to 0.52 times of Q plus 0.2. So if we expand this bracket, Q is equals to 0.52 Q plus 0.52 to 0.2 is 0.52 into 0.2 is 0.104. 0.104. From here, this information, if you brought it here, 0.48 Q equals to 0.104. With that, you can get the answer for Q. Divided by 0.48. That is, yeah, 13 over 60. 13 over 60. Then we can get the Q value. From 2, you can say P plus Q is 13 over 60. That is equals to 0.52. And you can get the answer 0.52 minus answer is 91 over 300. It's a final answer for P and Q. So that is the final answer for this question. Right. Now let's come up to this. Yeah. Third question. A sample of 100 characters taken from the farm. The length L recorded. Yes, recorded. The data are summarized in the following table. Right. There, initially, when you happen to see this kind of a question, see whether is there a boundary gap over here. If it is so, you need to rearrange these boundaries. For this question, there is no such problem. There with that, you don't need to arrange the boundaries. When you starting the question, this kind of a question, initially, see that is the first fact we need to be careful because that is some point where we made the mistakes when with the calculations, right? Okay, let's come up with this. The histogram process that represent the data. The bar representing 5 to 8. So they are concerning about this column 5 to 8 is 1.5 centimeters wide. That means here the gap is 8 to 5 is 3. The 3 is represented by a gap of, when you're talking about the width, by a width of 1.5 centimeters. That's the first fact we need to understand. And a height of 1 centimeter. So height. Usually for these questions, we mention the height, not the frequency, but the frequency density. For this question, if you calculate the frequency density, how to get the frequency density? Frequency divided by class width. The frequency density is 5 divided by class width. Class width is 8 minus 5 is 3. So over here, when you turn about the height, 5/3 is represented by 1 centimeter. So we'll keep it as this. Don't worry about that. Right. Then they are concerning about the width of 50 to 20. So 50 to 20, width is how much? 5. And frequency density is 30 divided by 5. It's 6. Then we need to worry about what would be the width. Sorry, what would be the width represent for a length of 5 centimeters. That's a factor to understand. If the width 3 is represented by 5/3, a width of 5 represented by a width of how much? That's a fact we need to understand. So with this answer, you can say W is equals to 1.5 into 5 divided by 3. The width become 2.5 centimeters. That's the answer we are going to get it. For this case, height. Height of 5/3 is represented by 1 centimeter. If it is so, height of 6 represented by a height of how much? That's the first factor to understand. Therefore, you can say H is equals to, from here, you can say is equals to 1 into 6 divided by 5/3. So with that, you can get height is equals to 6 divided by 5/3. 6 divided by 5/3 become 3.6 centimeters. Like that, you can represent this information. Let me see whether this is fine. Yeah. Then the next fact of it. So now you know these facts over here, right? Use a linear interpolation to estimate the median length of the carrots. To find the median, we can use a usual formula. We know that median is equals to n divided by tooth data. That's the definition for that. N is altogether there are 100. 100 divided by 2 is 50th. They put a 50th data. If you use the linear interpolation, no need of going it with the, if you go 50 plus 50, 50 plus 51, that is for the raw data. If it is a group data like this, initially see whether 50 falls in which column. To understand 50th data falls into which column, find the cumulative frequency. Then 5 plus 13 is 18. 18 plus 16 is 34. 34 plus 25 is 59. 59 plus 30 is 89 and 100. You know that 50th data falls in this category. That means 50th data falls in 59 to 34th. That means in this category, 12 to 15. 12 to 15, that is M. Then we are using the, what do you call that? Ratio method. This gap divided by this long gap. That's a technique we use. Short gap divided by the long gap. 15 minus 12. Do the same thing for the numerator. This gap, 50 minus 34 divided by the long gap. Long gap is 34 minus 59 minus 34. From here, you can get the answer. M is equals to, just a simplification only, 50 minus 34. That answer divided by 59 minus 34 into, if 15 minus 2 is 12 is 3, multiply by 3 and plus 12. So that's only the simplification. It's turned up to 13.92. Yeah. 13.92 is the answer for median. Then the next one they are referring is to find the mean length of the carrot. To find the mean length of the carrot, anyway, we need to make another column of fx. So there's a small issue because now when you happen to see a question like this, see whether is there any summation of fx and summation of fx squared is given for this question. Unfortunately, it's not given. We need to find it. Therefore, I'm going to find out the summation of fx column. So here I just make it because we need another column as well. I just make a little bit of an extension. Just make this fx column. Fx column, how to get the fx column? 5 into 6.5. That's the first column. No need of actually filling this. If you can do it manually, it doesn't make a problem. Fx column means 5 into 6.5. So I'll do it here. 5 into 6.5, the first column, plus the next one 13 into 9, that is x and this is f. 13 into 9. 13 into 9 plus the next one is 16 into 11. 16 into 11 plus then 25 into 13.5. 25 into 13.5 plus the next one is 30 into 17.5. 30 into 17.5 plus then 11 into 24. 11 into 24. This answer is 1452. So simply you can get mean value. I'll just do it here. C1. Mean is summation of, x bar summation of fx divided by summation of f. Summation of fx is 14.52 divided by summation of f is a number of information 100. 1452. Sorry. So the final answer is 14.52 would be the mean answer for this question. That's how you need to get this answer for that. Then we need to find the standard deviation. To find the standard deviation, I need to make the column of fx squared. What do you mean by fx squared? F into x squared. Summation of f into x squared. That means if you come up with the summation of fx squared column, so it should be f into x squared. So you can write 5 into 6.5 squared plus the next one is 13 into 9 squared. 13 into 9 squared plus the next one is 16 into 11 squared. 16 into 11 squared plus 25 into 13.5 squared. 25 into 13.5 squared plus then 30 into 17.5 squared. 13 into 17.5 squared plus the next one is 11 into 24 squared. 11 into 24 squared. Little bit careful when you do this calculation. Sometimes it has a tendency of making errors. Then we can say variance is equals to summation of fx squared divided by summation of f minus summation of fx divided by summation of f whole thing squared. Then summation of fx squared is, we already got this answer, 23,280 divided by summation of x 100 minus summation of it divided by summation. If you already found it here, you can straightforward, you can put 14.52 squared, or you can put this value as well, doesn't make a difference today. Divided by 100 minus, that is turned up to 21.96. 21.96, actually 97. 97 is sigma squared. They ask about standard deviation. Standard deviation is the square root of this answer. That is 4.69 is the answer for standard deviation. That's a way of getting the answer for this question. So simply you have to be a little bit of careful about when you are working out with this kind of simplifications. When you come to the next part of the question, a supermarket will only buy carrots with the length of 9 centimeters to 22 centimeters. Okay, 9 to 22 centimeters. And yeah, estimate the proportion of the carrots of the farm that supermarkets will buy. So we see whether what is the proportion of the carrots, those who are in between 9 to 22. Now you can see that 9 to 22 means 9 is over here. That's a point you have to understand with this question today. That's a one proportion from 9 to 10, and other one is 22. 22 means 15, 20. Here it has 22. 22, 22. This gap also we need to find it. Right. Now let's try to work out with this. There's the intermediate proportion, entire elements are there, not a problem with those. All these carrots should be come up with a count. 16 plus 25 plus 30. But here only the proportion of carrots will be there. So what you can understand is that this is 8 to 10, there are 13 carrots. That means a gap of 2, 8 to 10. 8 to 10, I'm just referring to. For a gap of 2, there are 13 carats. We need to find how many carats are there from 9 to 10. 9 to 10 means for a gap of 1, how many carats should be there? So if you work out, X should be 6.5. So another 6.5 should be added to this point. Doesn't matter, it comes with the decimal because they are talking about only proportion. So we can keep it as it is. Plus, then from here, 20 to 22, see whether how many carats are there. 22, referring to 20 to 28. 20 to 26, 28 for a gap of 6, there are 11 carats. Then we want to see whether 20 to 22 means for a gap of 2, how many carats are there. So if you just work out here, X would be 11 into 2, 22 over 6. Yeah, should be 22 over 6. That is 11 over 3. 11 over 3. So here the carat is, the proportion is 11 over 3 out of totally how many carats are there? There are totally 100. So answer should be the for answer is, so if you add them together, you can work out, yeah. 28, 22, 28. But I think I made a mistake here. 22, there should be 11. So yeah, it should be 11, 32 over 8. It's 11 over 4. Sorry, it's a calculation error. I made a mistake here. I didn't see that. I just counted as in a wrong count. Then yeah, that should be. So yeah, if you work out with this, you will get the total proportion as, let me see. So you can add them together. 0.8025. 8025. Have they given any specific significance? No. So that is the answer for that. So you can say 0.8031. Doesn't matter. Right? Now this is the point we need to understand clearly. Right. Then let's come up to the next point. Any carrot that supermarket does not buy are sold as animal feed. Okay, right. That means the supermarket buy for the range of 29 to 22. The proportion is 0.8025. Then if X is in between this, if X is less than 9 and X is greater than 22, would be waste because it's not bought by the supermarket. Right. The carrot that supermarket does not buy sold for animals, the farm makes a profit of 2.2 pennies on each carrot sold to the supermarket. For this proportion, he get a profit of how much? Profit of 2.2 pennies. It's pretty small. So you have to mark with the pennies. Yeah. So we'll just mark it with the 2.2 pennies. So we'll mark with the pennies, 2.2 pennies. Right. Okay. Then, yeah. The profit, the farm makes 2.2 pennies in supermarket, a profit of 0.8 pennies on each carrot longer than 22. That means for this one, you get a profit of 0.8 pennies. And a loss of 1.2 pennies on each carrot shorter than this. That means here the loss become how much? It should be 1.2 pennies because it's a loss. I just mark it as a less. It's a negative value because I mark it as a loss. I mark it as a negative value. You will understand what is the reason for that. Find the estimated the mean profit can made by the farm. So in this case, now we have to see whether what is the proportion of carrots which is less than 9. Which is less than 9 means this we have to work out from here. So less than 9 means this proportion and this proportions are there. This 5. We have to see whether the proportion of X is less than 9. We need to work out. I'll do it here. Then how do you get it? 5 to 8 there are 5 carrots. Plus we need to see whether how many carrots are there from 8 to 9. 8 to 9, half of this it's turned up to, from here itself the rest of the proportion it's turned up to 6.5. So out of 100 it's turned up to 11.5 divided by 100 is 0.115. So this proportion is 0.115 and the rest of it the rest of comes over here. So that one you can say it's pretty simply you can get 1 minus addition of these two because these are the 3 elements where we can get from this event. So this is the X and this is the probability for that respective events. We know that if you form a discrete random table, the rest of the probability comes with that. So 1 minus addition of these two. 115, 0.8025. Let's turn up to 0.0825. 0.0825. Then we want to get the what do you call that? STX, what do you call? Estimate the mean profit, the average. How to find the average for this? You can say the EX formula pretty simply. You can say that is minus 1.2 into 0.115 plus 2.2 into 0.8025 plus 0.8 into 0.0825 is the answer for that. It's turn up to minus 1.2 into 0.115 plus 2.2 into 0.8025 plus 0.8 into 0.0825. So the profit would be 1.6935 pennies. So you should turn only 1.69 pennies would be the estimated profit you can gain from this business. Okay, when you come to this fourth question today, the Chris works in a mail from the large company that the responsible for all the letters sent by the company. The weights in the letters sent by the company W grams of the normal distribution with mean 165 and standard deviation of 35. Okay, so you can say like W is having a normal distribution with 165, 35 standard deviation. Okay, therefore it's turned up to 35 squared. You should write the variance over here, right? Part B, part A, sorry. Estimate the proportion of the letters sent by the company that is less than 120. That means probability of W is less than 120 when you're working out which. First step is to make them into standard normal. Then what happened here? Both sides you have to subtract the mean value and divide by the standard deviation. So if you do this, the variable side turn up to Z is less than, it's turn up to 120 minus 165 divided by 35. It's turn up to minus 1.2857, that is 290. Then what you need to understand is we know that if you go to the normal distribution table, you don't have these negative probabilities. Initially, I make them into a positive by multiplying the both sides by negative. So what happened here? The side of the inequality changes. Greater probability you can find by the table by making 1 minus probability of Z is less than 1.29. That's the first factor. Or this is the first method. The second method is now if you work out with the distribution even, you can understand this concept. This is the first method I'm referring, right? We know that it's 0 and minus 1.29 is somewhere over here. We need this area. This area is literally similar to the area over here. Therefore, instead of this, I can write this is probability of Z is greater than 1.29, which is literally similar to this answer. If you want to get greater region, 1 minus of this answer, you can obtain the final answer. If you want to get this area, 1 minus of this answer should be taken because you know that table always supports only the lesser region. So that is a second technique. Anyhow, you come up with the same answer. So we'll come up with the normal distribution with 1.29. 1.29 comes with 0.9015. So you can say 1 minus 0.9015. Let's turn up to 0.9015 is 0.0985. 0.0985 is the final answer for this question. That is how you need to do it. Okay, let's come to the second question. The Chris splits the letter to be sent into the 3 categories: heavy, medium, and light, within 1/3 of the letters in each category. Find the weight limits that determine the medium letters. This is the point. So we need to see whether, yeah. The lightest one-third is the lighter letters. Then the next one-third is the medium letters, and heaviest ones are the largest one-third, right? Okay. But they give me. Right. Now let's see, we want to see whether the heavier, sorry, the crisp bits in front of one-third itself, find the weight limits of the determine the medium letters. We need to find this range. Initially, what you can understand is initially I need to find this boundary. This boundary means probability of weight is less than the boundary of, I'll just let's say light weight. This is one-third. This proportion is one-third, right? Then I need to find the boundary over here. I need to find the boundary over here. Then I can make them into standard normal by this is Z, and this is L minus the mean value. Mean value is 165 divided by 35. It's equals to one-third. Then you can say this is probability of, so we can work out for the one-third. One-third means 0.3333. So if you refer with the table, you can understand that there is no probability for 0.3333 because the smallest value is 0.5. In such situations, what we do is we just take this one as 1 minus 0.3333, and you can obtain the answer for this as 0.6667. Now read this probability from here, 6667. So if you go a little bit top, 6.6667. 6667, 6664 is there, that is 0.40. We can go to the most closer figure. We will check it from the other table whether we have something. No, that is also not there because one-third probability is not there. So we have to go ahead with 6667. 6664, you can go to the 0.43. Then we can get the answer as 0.43. And you have to put a minus in front of it. That's the technique we use. For the lesser region, if this probability is too small, we get 1 minus of that answer and read it and put a minus in front of this, right? So we will go to this table and you can write this is L minus 165 divided by 35. From here, you can get the answer. L is equals to, you can say minus 0.43 into 35 plus 165. That answer is 149 point, one second, minus 0.43 into 35 plus 165. That answer is 149.95. 149.95. That is a lower limit for this one today. Now there's a for the upper limit, again we can find probability of W is greater than L and get 1/3 and do it. It's kind of long, but you can understand that the normal distribution is a symmetrical shape. It's a symmetrical shape. Whereas the middle value, midpoint is how much? The middle is 165. And the lower one-third value is 149.95. Therefore, this has a symmetricity. With this answer, you can say the same gap added to this gap added to the greater, from the mean to the top region, you get the heaviest boundary. So this boundary, how do you get it? So the gap over here is how much? 165 minus 149.95. That gap becomes 15.05. So this gap is 15.05. So you can add that gap to the other side. So you can say 165 plus 15.05 is the answer for that. That value become 180.05. 180.05 is the gap. So you can say the median range would be the weight in between where to where? 149.95 to 180.05 would be the weight range for this question, right? Right. Then what they mention is the heavy letter is chosen at random, find the probability that the letter weight is less than 200 grams, right? Heavy letter is chosen at random, find the probability that his letter weight is less than 200 grams, right? Then what you can understand is, but do you have any specifications on it? No, it's not that. With that, you can say, this is the most common question most students ask is, this is actually come up with the conditional probability, right? How do we understand whether it's a conditional or not? Here they have given this information. The heavier letter is chosen at random. That means it's given the weight is heavy. The weight is heavy. The heavy category. Heavy category means the highest 1/3 of the category. The question is the probability of, you can ask probability of, they ask about the weight is less than 200. That's a fact to understand. So if you write this one, you can say this is probability of W is less than 200 and it's heavy, divided by probability of it's heavy. It's heavy, right? Then you know that this conditional. You know that heavier, the heavy category came with this boundary, as I remember. What was this figure? I can't remember the value over here. It was, the heavy category comes with, yeah, 1 second. When you do the calculation, you get the answer for heavy means, heavy means more than 180. It's 180. 180. So, and this is 200. They are talking about 200. Then they mentioned that the weight is less than 200 and it's heavy. Weight is less than 200 and it's heavy. Sorry, I mentioned weight is less than 200. It's less than 200 and it should be heavy. Heavy means, sorry, heavy means, but it's more than, sorry, I made a mistake. Heavy means, yeah, you can see it's less than 200 and it's heavy. Heavy means, but the highest, more than 180 category. So you can see this value comes with weight is in between 200 to 180. Divided by heavy means the probability of W should be more than 180. That's a fact we need to understand. The weight is in between 200 to 180 because heavy means more than 180. They are requesting is of the probability of in between less than 200. So the intersection region is this bit. Right. So with that you can say this is probability of, if you want to get the intermediate region, weight is less than 200 minus probability of weight is less than 180 divided by probability of weight is more than 180. Let's go ahead with this. This part we need to find it. We will try to find out. That means you have to say whether it is said is less than 200 minus the mean value is 165 divided by 35. Then this is turn up, said is less than 200 minus 165. It's 1. That value you can see from the table. 1 means here the value is 8413. This is 0.8413. So this value is 0.8413. And we know that the probability of less than 180 means the heaviest 1/3. The heaviest 1/3 means lesser region should be 2/3. Okay, that means probability of less than 200 is this width, less than 180 means that is the it's divided into three columns, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Light and heavy, light and heavy, light, medium and heavy. So here this 1/3, here it's 1/3, here is 1/3. Therefore, less than heavy category should be 2/3. Divide by W is more than 180 means the heaviest part of it should run to 1/3. So I can say 0.8413 minus 2/3 divided by 1/3. That answer is 0.5239. 0.5239. 39 is the answer for that. That's a way of getting this answer. So you can do the answer in this way. Right. Then next part of the question. Then the next question is, Chris chooses a random sample of 3 letters from those in the mailroom in one day. Find the probability that there is 1 letter in each of 3 categories. Yeah, this is a simple way of doing it. Then you know that there are 3 categories comes with that. That is light, heavy, and medium category, right? So if you work out over here, it can be like this. So the what you can understand here is it comes like this. The first category, it can be light, medium, or heavy. The next one again, you can turn up into how much? Light, medium, or heavy. This one also can be light, medium, or heavy. Here also, this is a second parcel, light, medium, or heavy. Then when you come up to this one again, it can be light, medium, heavy, light, medium, heavy, light, medium, heavy, light, medium, heavy. Here also light, medium, heavy. This one also light, medium, heavy, light, medium, heavy. There's another way we do this, but for the moment you have to get like this, medium, heavy, and here also light, medium, heavy. If you start with light, then it can be 2 lights. Light is a one combination is for the light, medium, heavy. Okay. Then light, heavy, and medium. All in 3 categories. For the light, heavy, and medium is another way, right? The next one is for the light, heavy, and heavy. You can't get it. Medium, light, and heavy. Medium, medium cannot. Medium, heavy, and light. So the second combination. Heavy, light, medium, heavy, medium, light, heavy, heavy, you cannot count. So you can see each one is because you know that each category is 1/3. There are how many such combinations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Into 6 is the final answer for this. Let's turn up to 1/27 into 6 is the final answer. Turn up to 2/9. That's a way of getting this answer. Okay. The diagram, the random variable x shown the following table over here. Some of the unknown probabilities are there. Given that ex is 0.5, find the value for a. That means, initially, if you add all of these probability at once, it should be 1. And this information given means some kind of a link over here as a. So if you work out with the ex, we know that how to find ex. This one -2 into a is -2a plus minus 1 into b is minus b, plus 0 into c is 0, plus 1 into b is b, plus 4 into a. This is given as 0.5. The definition for ex is x into px, addition of all these things at once. But over here, yeah. So if you simplify this, it's turned up to minus 2a plus 4a is 2a, minus b plus b get cancels each other. Yeah, and it's not term over here 0.5. Therefore, a becomes 0.25. So we can fill up this one as 0.25. This is 0.25 and 0.25, right? That's given. You can find with that. Given also variance of x is 5.1. Find the value for b and c. So now you know that here variance of x you can find it by ex squared. Initially you can find ex squared. Ex squared is x squared into pxx. That is minus 2 squared into 4. 4 into 0.25 is 1 plus minus 1 squared is 1. 1 into b is b. 0 squared is 0. 0 plus 0 into c is 0 plus b plus 16 into 0.25 is 4. Is equal. So they have given. So we don't know there is that is ex squared. That is turn up into yeah. Well, it's simply you can get the answer for b ex squared. So we can say that here it's b plus b 2b plus 1 plus 4 is 5. That is ex squared. Then we know that the variance of x is equals to ex squared minus ex whole thing squared. That's a fact we need to understand. Let me see. Yes, 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 5. That's great. Okay, good. Yeah, 2b, right. Okay. Then they have given that variance of x is 5.01. Ex squared it's given as 2b plus 5 minus ex whole thing squared is 0.5 squared is 0.25. From this information, you can get this answer. If you simplify this, you can say the b is equals to 0.5, 0.26, 0.13 hopefully. The product is 0.1, 0.26, yeah. Then we can get this answer as 0.13 itself. And this one also 0.13. Then you know that if you add them together, that is equal to 6. So you can say C is equal to 1 minus addition of all these things together. 0.25 plus 0.13 plus 0.13 plus 0.25. Then you get the answer 0 equals to 576 and 0.24 hopefully. You can get the answer this way. So see whether I think the calculations are fine. And if you want to make sure, you can add them together and see whether it's add up to 1. That's a way of getting the answer for B and C. Then what they mention is the random variable y equals to 5 minus 8x where ey. Then what we can get here is, you can say ey means that is expectation. We know that y is equal to 5 minus 8x. From the rules we know that, then you can say this is 5 minus 8 times of ex. That's the answer what we need to get it. That is 5 minus 8 times of ex. Ex is 0.5. Let's turn up to 1. Simply you can get this answer. Then part 2, I'll do it here. Variance of y means that is variance of 5 minus 8x. That means 5 doesn't make impact. This is, you can say, minus 8 whole thing squared into variance of x. That is 64 times of variance of x. We already found it as 5.01. So with this, you can get the answer 64 into 5.01. That is 320.64. 320.64 would be the answer for that question. Okay. Then part B. We need one probability of 4x squared is greater than y, right? Then what you need to understand is, how do we supposed to do this? We know that y is equal to 5 minus 8x. Then we need to work out for this table these two values. We need to calculate what is 4x squared and what is y value. For this, y equals to 5 minus 8x. For this, I just write it a little bit of clear. For the same table, now I'm going to find out these facts today. Right. Initially, we need to find what is the value for 4x squared. And what is the value for y is 5 minus 8x. Then initially, if the x is minus 2, 4 into minus 2 squared is 16. Then 5 minus 8 into minus 2 is 5 minus 8 into minus 2. That is done up to 21. This is y. Yeah, right. If it is minus 1, 4 into minus 1 squared is 4. If I put minus 1 over here, 5 minus 8 is minus 3. Sorry, it's 30 plus 30. It's 30. If it is 0, this is turned up to 0. And if this is 0, it should be turned up to 5. Right. Then if it is 1, it's 4. If it is 1, 5 minus 8 is minus 3. If it is 4, 64, and the other one is 5 minus minus 27 is the answer for this. Now see whether what are the elements where the 4x squared is bigger than y. That means this value should be bigger than this. It's not bigger, it's not. Y is bigger. So here it's bigger. And here, sorry. If I put it here, 4x squared should be greater than y. Yes. Then if you got those values. And yeah. And this value, but I just check whether this answer is correct. 1 minus 0.25. So 1 minus 0.25 plus 0.13 plus 0.13 plus 0.25. 0.24. Then we have to see whether the 4x squared is bigger than that. Yes, so we have to see whether this y is bigger than that. Y is bigger only, sorry, y is bigger than 4x squared. Okay, here, sorry, yeah, that's it, sorry. These two, all three elements are bigger than that. Therefore, you can get 0.25 plus 0.13 plus 0.24 is the answer for that. From there, let me see whether is that fine. The value figures are fine. Yes, y is bigger than 4x. If this is 0, it is 0. So we see 4x squared is bigger than y. That is, if you just do this, it's, let me see whether this is fine. This is y is bigger than, sorry, but I made it the other way around. What's the problem with that? So it's not the answer. Sorry, I made a mistake. We want to see whether 4x squared, this value is bigger than this. It's not. Only these two. That's the point. So you can say 0.13 plus 0.25, that is equals to 0.38. Okay, that's the point. I just see the, what do you call that, inequality the other way around. So answer should be 0.38. Okay. Right. Then let's go to the last question. Is this. Right. Over here, they mention okay, two economic students, Andy and Baroza, is studying some data relating to the unemployment percentage and the increase of wage of the European country. The least sequence regression line y(x) is given by the equation of this. Show that SYY equals to this. To find SYY, what is the formula you can apply is SYY is equals to summation of y squared minus summation of y whole thing squared divided by n. This whole thing squared. Do we have the summation y squared? Yes. 42.63 minus summation y is given 23.7 squared divided by 16. From here you get the answer. This is pretty simple. Answer 7.52. This, yeah, you can get the answer 7.524375. You get this answer. It's exactly. Part B is put the SXX. SXX you can find by, look at this. This is the point you have to understand. SXX is summation of x squared minus summation of x whole thing squared divided by n. Summation of x squared is there. Summation of x whole thing squared. Summation x, we don't have this information. We don't have that value. Then what is the next alternate? We can go ahead. Then yes, now summation x, you don't have the any way of getting the summation of x as well. But we know that the gradient of a regression line is equals to SXY divided by SXXK. From here, you know that the gradient is this people minus 0.3242. It's equals to SXY. We already found it. Sorry, SXY. Yeah, SXY. Do we know the value for SXY over SXX? Sorry, SXY over SXX. Do we know the SXY value? We know SYY only. Do we have any other option where we can go ahead with this? That one even we don't have any help with that. Then yes, then there's a logic. This Sxy again we can find by, we know that the Sxy is equals to summation of xy minus summation of x into summation of y divided by n. Do we have any option for that? Yeah. Sxx, yes, how do we get that value today? So there's a small issue with that because for the moment we don't have any other facts. Then from here also again we have a doubt that we don't have any summation x squared. But from this value, I know this part of it today. Here we know that A is equals to y bar minus bx bar. Then A value we know it's 3.684 equals to y bar. Summation y we know today. 23.7 divided by 16 y bar minus b. B value we know it's minus 0.3242. B x bar. X bar is summation of x divided by 16. From here, I can get the value for summation x as well. Yeah, that's great. So we can work out this one as 3 point. No need of having this one. 3.684 is equals to, if you operate with this, 23.7 divided by 16, that is turn up to put a 1.48125 plus this value is put a 0.3242 divided by 16. That is, yeah, so we will keep that as it is put 0.3242 divided by 16 is summation of x. From here, you can get the summation of x is 3.684 minus 1.48125. I just brought this one to here. Then multiply by 16. 16 and that one divided by 0.3242. That answer is 108.71, right? Now I know the value for here. So you can say then summation x squared is 756.81 minus summation of x squared is 108.71 squared divided by 16. From here you can get this answer. You can say 756.81 minus 108.71 squared divided by 16. That answer is 18.19 today. 18.19, you can get this answer. Then find the product moment correlation coefficient today. The gamma is Sxy is Sxy is, do we have the Sxy value here? No, it's not there. So again, we need to find that value today. Sxy you can, sorry, you can find by, we know the gradient. Sorry, we know B is equals to Sxy over Sxx. So we have to find some tricks to do this question. B is minus 0.3242. Sxy we don't know. Sxxl we already found it today. Again, we found 18.19. From here, you can get the value for Sxy is into 18.19 into sorry, 18.19 into minus 0.3242. That is minus 5.990. Minus 5.897. That is Sxy. Then we can find the product one correlation coefficient for the Sxy is minus 5.897 divided by square root of Sxx. Sxx is 18.19 into Syy. Syy you already found it as 7.52. We'll get that answer is enough today. Okay. So you can say this one divided by the square root of 18.19 into 7.52. So you get the answer minus 0.5. Then they mentioned the Barrow's claims that assuming that the model is valid, the data show that when the unemployment is 2%, wage increase over 3%. Explain how Barrow's could have come to the conclusion today, right? So you can say, you could look at this. Barrow's claims that assuming that the model valid, the data shows an unemployment is 2%, which increase at over 3% today. So they ask whether explain how Barrow's could have come to this conclusion. So you can say, yeah. Then over here, but it is percentages now. So what is the regression line over here? The regression line is this way. Y equals to 3.684 minus 0.3242 x. Then we mention that if x is 2%, 2% means if you substitute x equals to 2, what would be the y answer? The y answer become 3.684 minus 0.3242 into 2. That value become 3.03. That value become 3.03. So that is why they mention it's turn up into 3%. That's a way of getting this answer. Okay, quickly get that. Fine. Then they mention Anudi uses the formula. Sorry, Andy uses the formula. Range is equal to mean plus or minus 3% of the standard deviation to estimate the range of the value for x. Find the estimate of the minimum value and the maximum value x of this data using Andy's formula today. So what you can get here is they mention range is the mean plus or minus 3% of the standard deviation today. Right. Then we need to find, let me erase this part of it. Yeah. Then E. Initially, we need to find the standard deviation today. Sigma squared. Sigma squared is summation of fx squared divided by, that value you can't put it because we don't know any of these formula. Sorry, summation of, we already knew these values. Sigma squared, sigma squared is x squared. We already found the value for it. Now we have the x squared value today. 756.81 minus summation x. Summation x we already found from here somewhere. Here we already found it. Summation x is 108.71 squared divided by n. N is 16. So from here you can get the standard deviation. Sorry, this one is turn up to, if you just do this, 756.81 minus 108.71 squared divided by 16. It's 18.19 today. 18.19. Therefore, the standard deviation is the square root of that answer. 4.27. 4.27. Then we can say what is the range for this. From mean, you can get this value. So mean is 108.71 summation x divided by n is 60 plus or minus 4.27. So you can get the range. It falls between 3.597 to 9.992, 9.993 is the answer for this. That's a way of getting the answer for range today, right? Okay. Right. Okay, right. The next question is Pate. Yes. Estimate the range of, find the estimate the minimum value of the maximum value. You already got this answer. Then they mention comment giving reason on reliability of the Berus as a claim today. So you can say, so when you're working out with this, comment the giving reason on the reliability of the Berus claim. So find the estimate the minimum and the maximum value for the X of the data of the formula. So you can say, okay, when you're working out with this, you can understand that. So when you're working out with this X equals to 2, the Y value is 3.03, but according to this one, this value is not fall into this range. So you can say at X equals to 2, Y is equals to 3.03. It's not in the range. Not in range. Not in range where it is obtained by the equation. Therefore, this may not reason that this may not reliable. This may be not reliable. That's the answer what you need to write for this question. But because you know that this value you already gotten from this equation, but from the value what you get from the equation even does not fall over here. So that is maybe not reliable. Then the next question is, Andy suggests using the regression line with the equation y equals to this one to estimate the unemployment when the wage is increased by 2%. Comment giving reason and Andy's suggestion to it. Right. Then, yeah, and they suggest using the regression line for the equation y equals to this bit to estimate the unemployment wages increased at 2%. Comment giving reason and Andy's suggestion to it. And for this case, you can say that when you're working out with this 2% unemployment, it's not fall into the relevant standard deviation group today. So in this case, the suggestion may be not reasonable. So you can say 2%. So you can say this value may be not reasonable as 2% do not fall into the standard deviation range. That's the answer what we need to write the answer for this question. Right? Because you know that when you get the 2%, it's already falling outside from the range. So therefore, this either that conclusion is wrong or sometimes this regression model may be not appropriate to get this answer. That's the answer what you need to write.